a knock suddenly comes at my door. Is that my daddy calling for me? You're not my daddy, but if you want, I could be your daddy, little boy. Hehehe. I don't think that falls in line with Rivian's character. Hi guys, I just want to take a second to thank all my patrons here who have donated to me. No matter how much they've donated to me, it really means a lot to me. And if you guys want, you can check out my Patreon and help support me continue to make yaoi videos. Thanks guys. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Chess of Blades. The last episode was a few weeks ago, and we ended Saber's route, and that route was pretty gross in some way, I think. The ending of that route was just really was a shot in the dark, a real left turn. And I really want to get that taste out of my mouth since that was pretty yucky, but unfortunately we're going for Franz this route, which is really unfortunate because I'm not into him at all, not even a little. But I'm just looking on the horizon for that Linnaeus after this. I'm sure everyone else is pretty excited about Franz, not me. So let's just get through this as fast as we can, so we can have sex with the Grand Inquisitor. Okay. Anyway, the first choice here is maybe some other time. I grimace, swallowing the vehement refusal I want to offer as a reply. Arden looks so pleadingly expectant that even my frigid heart is incapable of shutting him down so mercilessly. The idea of dancing, however, makes my stomach turn much more than Arden's puppy dog eyes can move me. Okay, the next choice here is that little brat. Good, I kind of wanted to say that, but I don't think I've said it before. So much for being a cute little angel. What an absolute devil of a child. I can't believe it. She must have slipped inside when I wasn't looking. Ooh, that sounds gross. Oh no. She's just a little girl. What is she slipping inside? Oh my god, I need to stop. She just is a little girl. This is precisely why I never want to have children. They're just piles of mischief and work, nothing more.
This is the last damn time I ever play babysitter.
Oh god, here he has us accosted here on the balcony. Ugh, we're gonna have to give in to him this time, guys. God damn it. Maybe I should hear him out. That's not how Rivian talks. Maybe I should hear him out. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest, but strangely enough, I don't sense any killing intent from this man. That's it? That's all it takes? As long as you don't think the person is gonna kill you, you're gonna fuck him? What are your standards, Rivian? I suppose I can hear him out, just in case there's something important I don't know. Since when did diplomacy become so hands-on, though? For the love of the gods. I glimpsed a pleased smirk on his face when I slowly relaxed in the cage of his arms, a sour grimace curling on my own lips. Okay, this time we can't recall it. We can't recall Linnaeus' name. Damn, I can't remember it for the life of me. Something that started with an L, I think. He gives me a vitriolic look when I remain awkwardly silent, as if I committed some unspeakable crime by not committing his name to memory.
I am called Linnaeus. Perhaps you should write it down a few times so you don't forget. Assuming you are literate, that is.
Gods, talk about unpleasant. Did snooping over his shoulder really warrant this kind of treatment? Okay, so now we follow Franz, and I think making this choice will put us on his route officially now. As much as I loathe the idea of scampering after Franz like the lost kitten he seems to think of me as, I want some answers from him. Silently apologizing to Arden in my head, I weave through the crowd and follow the tall figure who waits for me to catch up before continuing on. But weren't we already, like, hanging out with Arden? Did we not even say anything to him? Did we not even tell him we were going off?
Good. I'm glad you're being sensible. Besides, you don't really enjoy that boring guard's company, do you?
Hey, he has a really big dick, okay? I remember that from his route, okay? And he has red hair, he's a ginger, I really like that. I don't like daddies like you, you're an old man.
You know about Arden too? He must be building quite an unflattering reputation for himself.
The corners of Franz's lips curl slyly upwards. His thumbs hooked casually into his pockets as we strolled toward a less populated part of the festival.
His reputation is not as poor as you might think. He did get into the Royal Guard, an elite unit, through remarkably hard work, and attracted quite a bit of attention. I don't know him personally, of course. I simply keep abreast of pertinent information.
I watch his movements from the corner of my eye as he speaks, trying to discern anything that might reveal information about where he's from or his occupation. He's certainly tall and well built, enough to be a fighter of some kind, but his elegant speech and smooth movements lead me to believe he's related to noble politics somehow.
Regardless, it seems like you've been heeding my warning. I tried your bedroom door last night just to make sure it was locked.
Oh my god, you tried to accost me in the night!
What? I should report you to the guards, you know. Next thing, you'll be smashing through the balcony doors.
Come now. Do you really want to act so callously against one of the few people who can keep you safe? I promise, I have your best interests at heart.
I shoot him a disgruntled look as we come to a halt behind the last festival stall on the street, where the chattering of the bustling crowd sounds distant.
You've been spouting all this nonsense and acting like some grand benefactor, but I don't have any reason to believe a word of what you say. Isn't it a little ironic that the most disturbing encounter I've had so far has been with you? No one's pulled a knife on me or given me any reason to mistrust them. Except you.
My accusation seems to bounce off Franz, who folds his arms impassively over his chest and watches me with a tilted head. A hint of a smirk stays on his face, which can surely only mean bad things.
I guess it'd be rather hypocritical for me to tell you to be on your guard around others, but not give you a reason to trust me, A little kitten learns fast.
Can you cease and desist with this kitten nonsense? It might work on some shy maiden, but I assure you I'm nothing of the sort.
I mean, I think he may be a little kitten. As much as I hate Franz, you have to admit it, Rivian.
Really? I could have sworn I felt your heart pounding like a little war drum when I had you pinned in my arms last night. However, returning to the subject at hand, there are a number of reasons I could give as to why I want to help you, but I doubt you'd believe any of them at this point. But if you want proof as to the fact that this celebration and its guests are more than they seem, I believe the occurrence I spoke of earlier will happen no later than tonight.
The occurrence? Could you be any more vague?
Franz shrugs lightly, running a hand through his hair.
You've played chess before, haven't you? You see the opponent's pieces moving, but a skilled player often masks what they're planning. The best you can do is stay alert.
The keen light in his eyes suggests that he definitely knows more than he's letting on. Damn it! What I wouldn't give to be a cold, calculating bastard like you right now, father. I'd see through him in a second.
Then I'll reserve judgment until I see for myself what's afoot. Afterwards, I'll decide if you're a delusional pervert or just an exceptionally well-informed one.
As expected of Lord Verison's son. I trust we'll encounter each other tonight, then.
He steps closer, leaning in to press a finger under my chin and gaze down at me with those uncomfortably discerning eyes.
Until then, stay on your toes. The most painful attacks come from the most unexpected of places.
I glower at Franz silently in reply, which only serves to elicit a low laugh from him as he steps past me.
Ah, those eyes send sweet shivers down my spine. Well, good afternoon, my little lord.
He disappears around the edge of the stall, presumably returning to the street, and I sigh quietly to myself as his footsteps fade. I don't know why, but I feel like I wasn't the victor in that conversation, even though I wasn't aware we were in a contest. Regardless of his intentions, I don't think I'll ever get used to that man's demeanor. It's like dealing with a male escort or something I may have partook-in a few times back home. Sulking a little to myself, I head back to the street, returning in the direction Franz and I had come from. When I return to the Snake's Charmer's circle of admirers, I catch Arden wandering around searching for me and tell him I went off to relieve myself in some bushes. That's the best lie you could come up with? Wait, what bushes? Like bushes right in the street? What? Okay, sure. He gives me a somewhat dubious look at my excuse, but doesn't question it. He's totally seen through my fucking stupid lie. Well, it's none of his business anyway. He'd probably pop a vein if I told him too much about Franz, about how he ravished me last night on the balcony, about how he tried to rape me in my room last night when he tried my doorknob. How he looked into my eyes just a moment ago. After bantering a bit, we decide to return to our rooms for a rest before the dinner and dance take place in the evening. We start to stroll through the stalls in the opposite direction towards the direction of the castle. We buy a few more small things on the way, and I manage to get my hands on a rather nice emerald-studded brooch for my mother. By the time we arrive back at the castle entrance, it's already turning to late afternoon, the sun's golden shape gradually descending in the west. I part ways with Arden, denying his request for me to show him to my room, and hurry back up to the second floor. Dumping my bag of miscellaneous purchases on top of my clothes trunk, I pull off my boots and throw myself on the luxurious bed with a soft groan. Despite how tired I am from all that walking around, a strange tension won't leave my body. I won't go so far as to say it's a feeling of foreboding, but it's as if some sixth sense I have is tingling, rather ominously.
It's all that bastard Franz's fault, making me all paranoid.
Wallowing languidly in my self-pity, I sprawl out over the covers, nestling against my pillow and letting out a deep sigh. I'm sure it doesn't matter if I fall asleep, since Silas will probably come wake me up again. It's pretty impressive that he manages to remember a single guest among the hundreds who must be here. The skill of a royal butler, I suppose. I close my eyes and try to catch a little rest. However, I can't manage to slip into more than a light doze, tossing and turning from side to side. Either from lingering excitement or apprehension, I'm too restless to fall into a deep sleep. There's been too much stimulation today for an introvert like me. Damn it, I probably haven't talked to so many people in years.
It's no use.
Opening my eyes, I grudgingly pull myself up into a sitting position, staring through the balcony doors in the evening sky. A part of me wants to go out and lean on the balustrade, but I'd rather avoid a repeat of last night. Wouldn't want to get accosted again, out in the open air, where anyone could see us. Maybe I do. As I sit on my bed contemplating what to do, a knock suddenly comes at my door. Is that my daddy calling for me? Here I come, daddy. Here I come, Franz, daddy. I slide off onto the floor and stride over to open it, but hesitate. It's probably just Silas, but what if it's someone who...
Have some balls, man. God's sake.
Scolding myself quietly, I pull the door open, although I take a little step back just to be safe. Oh yeah, it's this guy. We kind of met him early on, but then I don't even know. I guess he wasn't part of Arden's route. I forget his name even. Before me stands a young man, probably a couple of years my junior. I definitely don't recognize him. Why is he staring at me like I just morphed into a monster? Is this our first meeting with him?
Sorry, sir.
Oh, I forgot how cute a voice he had.
I got the wrong room.
You're not my daddy, but if you want, I could be your daddy, little boy. I don't think that falls in line with Rivian's character.
Oh, well, don't worry about it. Looking for someone in particular?
Just Miss Celeste's.
His stuttering, while perhaps cute at first, is quickly getting on my nerves.
Celeste, you say? I think I may have met her earlier. I didn't know she was in the same hall as me.
I thought she was, but maybe not. I'll go find her. Sorry again.
Right.
I watch as he scampers off down the corridor, hastily examining all the room numbers. What an odd boy. He's either very shy or completely out of sorts for some reason. I wonder how he knows Celeste. I'll have to ask her the next time I run into her. Okay, we're supposed to accept his apology here. Unexpectedly or not, I doubt whether that really justifies his behavior. But he does appear to be earnest about his apology, even if reluctantly so.
Well, let it not be said I am an ungracious man. I was probably a little rude back then too, though not as rude as you were, certainly.
Do not push your luck, Verison. Let us put the matter to rest and move on.
His fingers twitch against his book. Not wanting to be hit or otherwise assaulted with a heavy-looking tome, I concede with a nod of my head.
Are you heading down as well? Our Grand Inquisitor.
Okay, we're supposed to have cake. Let's have some cake. Although, Franz is the one who's going to be having some of this cake, am I right, guys? Oh god, I'm so stupid. Damn, that whipped cream is simply just too enticing. I pull up the slice of cake in front of me, sighing happily. This is what it's meant to be an adult.
Oh, is that your shy little way of saying you want a kiss after all?
Yes, Daddy. Smirking rather victoriously, Franz swipes a bit of cream off the cake with his finger and licks it off in the lewdest manner I can imagine. Okay, this one is to love.
To the beauty of love, and to the hope that our lives shall be filled with it as we forge our paths as great men.
As I make a show of gazing inspiringly into the distance, I find myself wondering how I even got into this situation. Well, I'd rather them laugh at me than stare daggers at each other.
That was
adorable indeed.
With the moment of silence broken, Franz leans in to press his lips against my ear, murmuring lowly,
I'll fill your life with love if you wish, little kitten. And there are other things I can fill too.
Oh, Daddy, please, not here where everyone can hear us. Let us adjourn to our room before you fill me up with all of your things. I forcefully guide Franz's shoulder back out of my bubble of personal space, and he snickers delightedly all the while. If I weren't a refined gentleman, I'd dump my wine into his lap right now. I bet that would get rid of his infuriating little smirk. Okay, the answer here is, it was horrible.
Yes, well, it was a rough meal. Let's leave it at that.
I see.
He looks a little disappointed at my lack of detail, but I've grown fairly immune to his innocent expressions.
You probably had it worse, though. I'm not envious at all.
Well, I'll avoid them next time. Hopefully.
He gives me a rather pointed look, as if to provoke some response he's hoping for, but I willfully ignore him. Halfway through his sentence, the man reading the announcement suddenly cuts off. A servant who had just hurried up to his side whispers something in his ear, and I can tell from the announcer's widened eyes that something's happened.
Hey, is this something set up as part of the event?
Who's the guest? Who's the guest? I wanted to know so badly.
Murmuring breaks out through the crowd, impatient and curious whispers flitting around. Did I miss something? What's happening? I think I might have missed something. Well, now I'm curious too, damn it. It must be something rather serious for him to just go silent like that.
Why, Arden, what do you think is...
When I glance over to where Arden was, I find a significant lack of Arden standing there now. Well, it looks like I've been too rough to him all this time. He's just run off. Well, where's my daddy? He was never exactly one to be stealthy. Did he have to answer nature's call outside or something? He had plenty of time to do that earlier.
Ahem. It is my regret to announce that, due to unforeseen circumstances, our guest will not be presented tonight.
The uneasy voice of the announcer slices through the whispers pervading the room.
A small issue has arisen that His Majesty's men are currently attending to. We ask that all guests remain calm, as everything will be resolved by morning. During this while, please continue to enjoy the remaining festivities and report any suspicious behavior to the guards.
Finishing his announcement, he bows respectfully and disappears further beyond the balcony, leaving behind a haze of confusion and curiosity.
Well, I suppose we'll just retire for the night.
I hope they didn't cancel the dance. I wanted to try dancing in my new shoes.
The idle chatter resumes, and I notice quite a prissy bitch. Well, its normal level The idle chatter resumes its normal level among the guests, although a faint sense of uncertainty seems to hang over everything like a storm cloud.
What on earth was that all about, I wonder?
Baffled, I shake my head and start to turn around to look for Arden.
Excuse me, sir.
What? Who's this? A heavy hand suddenly firmly clamps down on my shoulder. It belongs to the armored guard in front of me, standing to block my path.
I'm afraid you'll need to come with me, sir.
I beg your pardon, what's the meaning of this?
Adjusting his posture rather stiffly, the guard motions silently for me to walk towards the stairs. Is it just my imagination, or is he treating me like I've done something wrong? I have quite the bad feeling about this. Deciding it's in my best interest to cooperate rather than cause a fuss, I head up the staircase, trying to ignore the questioning gazes sent my way by some of the other guests. Hopefully a vicious rumor decrying me as some sort of debased criminal doesn't start spreading during my absence. Damn nobles are like vultures around a carcass when it comes to calling each other out. When we reach the guest hall corridor, the guard who was following closely behind me quickly curls his gauntleted, that's a hard word to say, fingers around my arm.
Careful now, no need to leave bruises. When are you going to tell me why exactly I'm being taken to the naughty corner?
There has been an incident, sir, and you are under suspicion for involvement.
Incident? You mean what the announcement was about just now? Well, clearly I had an established alibi during...
Ignoring my objections, the guard pulls me forward down the hallway, this time less gently than before. Well, now I definitely have a bad feeling about this. How on earth did I even get involved in this in the first place? I was just minding my own damn business. The room we arrive at is a few halls down from mine. One hand still firmly grasping my arm, the guard raps his knuckles on the door, eyeing me not too subtly from the side all the while.
Sir, I've brought one of the suspects.
One of the suspects. Bloody disgrace.
As I gripe quietly to myself, trying to swallow my budding panic, the door suddenly opens.
It's about time. Varison!
The astonished, bespectacled face of the Inquisitor appears before me. I just saw him at the dinner table. He must have been called out as soon as I left.
Linnaeus? You're the one I'm being taken to? Oh, thank goodness. You can extract me from this mess, right?
Linnaeus' hesitant silence dashes my budding hope of a quick end to whatever I've been caught up in. His eyes narrow somewhat sharply at me, growing slightly chilly, although a dubious expression remains on his face.
Well, if you've been implicated as a suspect, it's my duty to detain you, regardless of our acquaintanceship. Bring him inside.
I grind my teeth together at his dismissive response, which the guard obeys, pushing me into the half-office, half-bedroom that is presumably Linnaeus' quarters. Sitting in a chair in the corner is a small young man, huddled with his knees pulled up against his chest. Wait a second, haven't I seen him before? Ah, right, it's the kid who knocked on my door earlier. What is he doing here, though?
That's him, I think. Sorry, sir.
Are you implicating me, you little bitch? You know what? I take it back. I don't want to be your daddy. I already have my own daddy. I don't need you. He gives me a guilty look, quickly glancing away and hugging himself protectively.
I see. Well, Rivian, it seems Alistair here is quite convinced you were out in the gardens when tonight's incident took place. So...
Wait a damn moment. What is this incident you all keep talking about? Give a man some details before you start accusing him of things he didn't do.
Linnaeus pauses, giving me a long, scrutinizing look before continuing.
Tonight, a man was murdered on the castle grounds.
A cold sensation tingles down my spine. So something really did happen after all.
His body was found in the gardens after the dinner, and as a result, everyone who was in the surrounding area at that time is potentially involved in the affair.
He pushes up his glasses in a matter-of-fact manner to punctuate his words, then glances towards the boy on the chair.
This young man here was within sight of the garden exit in the main hall during that period, and informed us of the individuals he saw passing through the door in that time frame. And you happen to be one of them.
That's ridiculous! Besides, Arden was with me in the gardens. He can tell you quite plainly that I wasn't going around stabbing my dinner fork into anyone out there.
I'm afraid Arden has been called to active duty for protecting the king at this time, so reaching him will be quite difficult. You'll have to be taken to a guarded area for further questioning in the meantime.
But you're not gonna check my obvious alibi that can exonerate me, because what? Why? Because he's protecting you can't even ask him a question. Where is he? You can't even ask him a question. Just Linnaeus, you are a really bad Inquisitor. I mean, I still love you, but you're a bad Inquisitor. I growl under my breath in frustration, squirming in the guard's firm grip on my arm. There has to be something I can do to get out of this situation. A guarded area is probably the safest place to be with a murder on the loose, but I refuse to be locked up for something I'm not guilty of. Just as the armored man starts to pull me towards the door, a knock suddenly echoes from it. The guard abruptly jerks in surprise, shooting a quick glance towards Linnaeus through his helmet.
Well, don't just stare, fool. The door isn't about to open itself.
Yes, sir.
He reaches out with his gauntleted hand to hesitantly turn the knob. I have to say he's awfully tentative for someone wearing so much armor. I can't see who's standing at the door since the bulky guard is blocking my view, but he doesn't appear to have been stabbed, so I'm assuming it's not the murderer.
Sorry to interrupt, but do you mind if I barge in on this chat for a moment? I think I can offer some help with this nasty situation.
before our daddy comes in here to save the day and save our little ass, I'm going to end the episode right here, guys. But thank you for watching, and on the next episode, we're still just going to try to speed through this route. Because I'm not into daddy play. Despite how many times I said daddy this video. Bye, guys.